Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream. Live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, we'll talk about altcoins. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys. And as always, I'll do my very best to get to your questions and see if we can't answer them here live. So it's been an eventful week. The Bitcoin 2025 conference in Las Vegas was this week. There were a lot of interesting speakers. I watched some of it, and I've got a news story about some of the stuff that Michael Saylor said at the conference. We'll talk a little bit about the market. We've pulled back a little bit from our recently set all-time highs. Not a big deal, but I'm going to share some various predictions with you on where Bitcoin is headed this year. A couple other news stories, and then I want to talk tonight about summer vacation and the best way to handle or manage your crypto while you're on vacation. Now, some of you might not care at all, might just leave everything at home and not think twice about leaving your crypto behind. Some of you are a little more proactive. At the very least, you want to keep checking your portfolio while you're on vacation. But I've got some tips and tricks and a special offer from Tangem for summer vacation. So we'll talk about that a little bit. So let's jump in. Let's greet everyone. Here we go. Now, I did notice there were a couple of questions early on. Paul sent me a question through email, and R*3 sent me an email, and I can see he or she is asking the same question in the live stream. So I will cover that. But let me greet everyone that's here. Kenny was here early. Simon was here. Andreas Ebert is here. Erica Steelman talking about getting a signal in the mountains. Now, it depends on the type of app that you're using. But most Ledger Live or Tangem can operate with just a cell phone signal. They don't necessarily need Wi-Fi, but I guess you would need a strong cellular tower signal. So being up in the mountains could be problematic for something like that. But we'll talk a little bit about dealing with crypto while we're on vacation. Hydro is here. Kenny, I already said hello. Roland Kane on the road. He wants to make it. Good to see you, hear you, Roland. We met at the Solana Accelerate event a week back there in New York. That was really nice. Mark Schlossberg from Slovakia. Dusted in Shadow. Good to have you. Hans Hanna 350. Astar 3. Thank you for being here, and I will get to your question shortly. Simona Moulin, W. Gregory Wieland, E. Poston from Colorado. Good to have you. Bobby, Paul is here. I'm going to cover your question, Paul. I can't remember what it was. I'll look at my email about your question. Oh, it was about Monero. Yeah. Amsterdam, Holland. HR by Catherine. Ampov Podcast. Good to have you. Gunbroker 11. Good to have everybody here. If you've never been in the live stream tonight at all or ever, then there's a bunch of stuff down in the description. If you don't see all of this in the description, and you're just the type of person that only watches YouTube videos and never looks at the full descriptions, there is a show more under the video that will expand the description down further so that you can see all this good stuff. Some things we're going to talk about tonight, stuff we're going to do on vacation. As I mentioned, for June 2nd through June 16th, the CryptoDad checkout code will give you a 20% discount on Tangem products. I was just contacted by the CEO of Tangem yesterday, and he let me know that this was going to be during, and he let me know this was happening and said, hey, you should focus on summer vacation. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I've been on a few vacations where I had my crypto devices with me, so we'll talk about that. So yeah, you can get a great discount on Tangem. That won't be till Monday. June 2nd will be, is that Monday? Yeah. Tomorrow's the first Sunday, and then Monday will be the second. I think you might be able to get this Solana edition as a general public person. I think you can buy it if you, no, it says out of stock. There are certain groups that are eligible for this first, and then they'll release it to the general public. So keep your eyes open for that one. That's going to be pretty cool. Let's see, where are we over here? Agenda. I'm going to do the spam thing. There's so many scams out there. So I checked my spam folder. I was looking for something else, and I found it. I found some scam emails. So I want to show you what those scams look like. Ledger Nano. If you've got a Nano S, you can still, as far as I know, still get that upgrade price if you verify your device, verify that you own the device. People are kind of suspicious of that, but how else are they going to give people an upgrade discount if they can't verify that you actually have the device? Yeah, I mean, you may have been gifted the device, you may have found the device, and you're still eligible. As long as you have one in your hot little hand, you can qualify for this 20% discount on any Ledger wallet. It's pretty nice. You still got the CryptoDad landing page. We talked about that. That's will always be around. There's a link there for that. I was pretty flattered that they created this page for me, and any time of the year, whether they're running specials or not, you'll be able to get a $10 rebate when you use my link. Pretty cool. And Trezor 5, Tangem Ring, all this other good stuff. I don't know about the Tangem Ring discount, what that'll be. It might be 20%. That will be a heck of a deal. So check that out on Monday. And I've linked all the news stories here that we're going to cover tonight. All right. Before I jump into the news, let me just quickly cover these questions. So I think I was doing it in this browser. So Astar3 is asking me how to get into her Gemini account. She's like, please help. Well, there's not much I can do to get you into your Gemini account. I mean, if it was something like, oh, I'm having trouble with this ledger, I can't seem to get it to send or whatever, I can maybe walk you through something like that. But you're asking me how to get into your account. And I can't do that for you because only you can do that. I don't mean to be facetious, but this is specialized. This is a specialized task that only you can perform. But I'm going to give you some tips. The first thing I'll mention is that I have this video here, which is how to recover your Google codes when you lose your phone. Now, I know you haven't lost your phone. You're telling me you have Authy, and they're asking you for a 6-digit code, and Authy is a 7-digit code. I'm not sure what's going on there. You might want to check. Maybe they're sending you a text. You might want to check your phone, your text history, and see if they're sending you a code through the text. It's possible that they might be sending you that code through email, so you might want to check whatever email you use to set up your Gemini account. If then all those are dead ends, then your only recourse at this point is to try to disable the 2-factor authentication on your Gemini account. That's it. This whole video right here about Google is not about how to fix Google on your phone. It's about how to go to each and every account that you had your 2-factor authentication set up on and disable the 2-factor. It's different for every service. I don't have a Gemini account, so I don't know exactly how you do it in Gemini crypto exchange. But I do explain how it works in a Coinbase account. There's a special page. You have to go to their special page and then go to their support, tell them you lost your 2-factor, device or code, or what, you basically you don't have it, and you're going to have to disable the two-factor on your account so that you can get into the account and then set it back up again, because obviously something's gone kind of nutso on you. So I pulled up Gemini here. I'll put this link down in the chat window. I don't know if that's going to help you much or not. But basically, they have a link here that takes you over to support, and you're going to have to be signed into your account. But they won't let you sign in because you don't have your two-factor. So at some point, I usually can find it when I Google it. I usually Google something like Gemini lost two-factor, and there's usually like a support link that will take you to a page where you have to authenticate yourself. You have to provide your ID, and sometimes you have to show them a selfie and a little note saying, I want to reset my two-factor. And then if you're successful at that, then they're going to disable the login for the account. And it might take them about a week or a few days to a week to actually remove the two-factor. And then at that point, you will be able to, they'll give you a special login, I think. Either that or you'll just log in with your regular username and password, and they won't require the two-factor at that point. That's the only way. I mean, there's nothing you can do to your phone to change it that's going to make them happy, right? Because I'm usually talking to people that have lost their phone. They don't have their code anymore. Honestly, I don't know why they are not, why they're asking you for a 6-digit code when Authy is 7 digits. I just don't know why that is. I don't use Gemini and I don't use Authy. So that's where we stand. I don't know. Maybe you set up a Google Authenticator before you set up Authy. I don't know the whole story. But at this point, it looks like you're going to have to deal directly with Gemini and get them to disable your two-factor so you can get into your account. And it's not obvious how you do that. I wish I could have found you a link. And then Paul is asking me about the Monero wallet. It is, if you're running a full node Monero wallet, it takes forever, on the order of a few days running the sync operation, and you have to disable your computer's sleep mode so that you're just online all the time and syncing up to the Monero blockchain. It takes like a day and a half, 2 days, maybe even longer now. There's just no way around it unless you want to use the client type, but that's less secure. Sounds like you're trying to do a full node. You can disable screen lock on your Ledger device. You can also disable the password sleep on in the Monero app. I don't have it installed, so I can't really show you, but if you go into settings, there is a way to disable that screen lock so that you don't have to keep entering your Monero password all the time, every 5 or 10 minutes, right? But you really don't need to be logged in for that sync to continue. Once you've started syncing, it'll, the password thing will come up. You can just let it sit there and then maybe log in once a day or twice a day or whatever, just to check the progress. It takes forever. Yes, you are not crazy. It takes an inordinate amount of time to sync completely to the Monero blockchain. All right, let's jump into the news, guys. Bitcoin price will reach 130K or even 1.5 million, top bulls say. The Bitcoin bulls of 2025 are calling for prices as high as 1.5 million. Do they know something we don't? So the bulls have updated their price forecast. Most of them are talking about 130,000 range. The new all-time high hit a week or so ago on May 22nd, 111. and $111 and $970,000. We're back now to around 104,000, and at this point it's $845. It was 104.5 earlier today, so we're on a little bit of an upswing at the moment, right? And various people are making predictions. Adam Back says Bitcoin tops 1 million if U.S. jumps in. He's talking about the strategic Bitcoin reserve. Well, they've already sort of declared that, but it hasn't been enshrined in Congress yet. So maybe if that gets passed, with a law that gets signed, then there'll be more excitement around that. I was really surprised that there wasn't as much excitement around that as there should have been when it was announced. And Paul, thank you so much for that donation. I really appreciate that. I saw that come in earlier and I was jabbering away. I forgot to acknowledge that. Thank you very much. Let's see, U.S. states. Okay, we got that. The U.S. states are laying the groundwork for Bitcoin reserves. We got New Hampshire and Texas. There could be more. Several states have struck down attempts. But on the whole, it's moving along, right? Let's see. Smart Money agrees on Bitcoin's year-end target. Several analysts have set their targets at around 200,000. Very interesting. Novogratz eyes Bitcoin next price discovery range. His prediction is around 130 to 150,000 by the end of the year. Kathy Wood is predicting 1.5 million Bitcoin, but not this year. Her prediction is by 2030, so that's an extra 5 years. But that's still a positive outlook on Bitcoin. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is also calling for 1 million by 2035. I could predict anything by 2035. Oh, yeah, it's going to happen in 10 years for sure. Like, I'll be, no one will know if I'm right or wrong for 10 years. I can make any... Come on, man. If you're going to make a prediction, make it a little more short term, eh? Anyhow. All right, I'm getting cranky now. All right, so this other story here is a little bit of a downer, saying that we really need to hold the 104.5 weekly close to keep the bull run going. So keep an eye on the weekly close, which occurs on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I'm not mistaken, Dan. If I'm wrong, let me know. I think it goes back and forth depending on, daylight savings time. Let me just check here. I want to make sure I'm still here, yeah? Okay, just double checking. My mic's working. It looks good. Everything's good. Good. So tomorrow's weekly close is key here. And right now we're over that mark, and so hopefully we'll be higher than that tomorrow at the weekly close, and then we can say we're in a bull run still. Okay, so this is the thing I really wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. Crypto has structural optimism built in to withstand crises. Now they cite some figures here, some statistics. Keep in mind, we should always keep this in mind, that correlation does not prove causation. Just because two things happen at the same time doesn't mean that it causes them, right? But we have some statistics here talking about when Donald Trump announced tariffs, the stock market dropped from 19, or this is the stock F&G index, plunged more than 80% to a 3-year low. In contrast, the crypto F&G index declined from 44 to 18, and only 59% increase. The argument here is that the crypto market, the crypto community by extension, is able to weather market shocks better than traditional market participants, right? But they say they talk about some interesting things here that I wanted to bring up. They talked about the Luna collapse and how that didn't really phase the crypto market that much. Although it did, it hit a lot of people pretty hard. This is it. The volatility native to crypto recalibrated investor expectations, right? So in crypto, a 20% drawdown in equities, in equities, right? A 20% drawdown in equities is technically a bear market. That's the definition of a bear market, a 20% drop in equities. In crypto, that could be considered a healthy correction, right? So the crypto market, although markets are psychological in nature and there are a lot of charting out there, the crypto market, the crypto mentality is a little bit different than the traditional market sentiments. So you shouldn't always compare them on a one-to-one basis, right? So, and that's basically what this article is talking about, is that there is built-in optimism based on the type of people that are investing in crypto. And so we have two types of investors in crypto. The first, the believers, right? The people that believe in crypto long-term, view it as a paradigm shift in how we deal with money. It's another form of currency, a decentralized currency, an evolution from what we had before. We started, back in the old days, we bartered pigs and sheep and grain, and then we came along with things that represented value, like seashells and whatever. And then we moved to coins, right? That was an evolution. And then in the 1600s, we evolved from coinage into paper money. And then here in the 20th century, we have modern banking and digital money. But Bitcoin was one of the first decentralized currencies that doesn't rely on any centralized entity like a central bank or a government, right? So it is an evolution in money, and there are a lot of people that believe in that. And they're people that are buying and holding Bitcoin, and they are less likely to sell when the market drops. They're actually probably more likely to buy in when the market drops. So that's our first set, right? Altcoin believers, meanwhile, draw strength from rapid innovation, new protocols, narratives, and technologies keep the sector in constant motion. That ability to reinvent and rebound reinforces the idea that crypto is an ecosystem defined by momentum, not stagnation. The second group are the recent arrivals. They see crypto more as a speculative bet, and they are more likely to sell when the price drops, right? Or take profits when the price goes up. So we have that interplay between these two types of crypto investors. The firm believers, the hodlers, and the speculators. So when fear spreads like it did in 2018, 2022, various downturns in the crypto market, these second types rush for the exits. And so that's a factor in the volatility of crypto. The conviction of believers in a bright future is not based on blind faith, but has a solid foundation. In Bitcoin's case, this foundation rests on a firm, committed, holder-based, a fixed supply, de-inflationary by nature, right? Because there'll only be 20 million Bitcoin. And a clear, predictable monetary philosophy that stands out during periods of economic uncertainty. These aren't speculative claims. They're principles that have gained credibility over time. If you remember, Bitcoin was born during the uncertainty of the 2008 financial crisis. I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember, and I wasn't really, I was in Indonesia when this happened, but I saw some documentaries, and, the president, the Treasury Secretary, the head of the Fed Reserve were all in like these conferences, and the claim was that we were hours away of all of the ATMs in the U.S. not working anymore. I mean, that's how close our financial system was. We were on the brink of total financial collapse. A lot of people, they look back and they're like, it was just a blip. No, it wasn't. It was more than that. And then we got out of that mess by issuing more debt, basically, using the printing press, the digital printing press. So we basically just kicked the problem down the road. But Bitcoin was born amid that uncertainty. So, Bitcoin is here to stay. It's pretty obvious now if you watched any of the Bitcoin 2025 conference in Las Vegas this week. There were a lot of live streams that you could watch. And we're going to talk about Saylor's pitch at that conference here, but I did want to cover this quick story. We've talked recently, there have been some news stories about crypto wrench attacks. That's where someone will threaten you to, give them your crypto under duress. You're forced to enter your PIN or whatever. They give up your private keys, they say, or just being forced to transfer your crypto to an attacker's wallet under threat of personal harm. And there's been some high-profile kidnappings in the space. And so now there are insurance companies out there that are scrambling to provide crypto kidnapping insurance, right? This is just another sign that crypto's here to stay, and that there's a lot of businesses coming to meet the challenges and the needs of the crypto community. It's a pretty interesting little story. Got it linked down below. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Michael Saylor speaking at the Bitcoin 2025 conference in Las Vegas. He touted Bitcoin as a virtually foolproof path to wealth creation for everyone, from business owners to families and even one's enemies. In his speech at the 2025 Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas. During the roughly 35-minute presentation entitled 21 Ways to Wealth, the famous Bitcoin maxi said the world's oldest cryptocurrency is perfect capital, championing its incorruptible and programmable nature. He urged his audience to buy Bitcoin to enrich themselves. Of course, juicing demand for Bitcoin works in his favor. His company is one of the largest holders of Bitcoin out there. But I like what he said here, if I can find it. Okay. It's for everyone. Take your fiat currency, trade it for Bitcoin. Take your long-term capital, trade it for Bitcoin. Sell your bonds, trade them for Bitcoin. Sell your inferior equity. Sell your inferior real estate property, buy Bitcoin. That's a pretty bold statement, right? But it served him well, right? Everyone thought he was crazy when his company MicroStrategy, which was an obscure software company that made basically business prediction software of some kind, decided to start investing its cash reserves in Bitcoin. And that became more profitable than what they were doing. So the company has evolved now to basically being, a company that buys Bitcoin. And by investing in his company, you're indirectly investing in Bitcoin. So pretty good talk. I didn't get a chance to actually see that. You could probably watch it again if you search for it on YouTube. You can watch the whole presentation. It was probably pretty compelling. And then I kind of wanted to talk a couple of stories here about what's going on in other countries involving Bitcoin and crypto. Pakistan announced they were a representative of Pakistan was at the Bitcoin conference here, Bilal bin Saqib, and he announced that Pakistan is forming a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Well, of course, the IMF objects to that. They're kind of like, hey, I thought we were the boss here, right? How dare you do something without consulting us? And so they're going to allocate 2,000 megawatts of electricity for Bitcoin mining amid energy shortages and budget talks, right? Because I guess they're trying to get an IMF bailout of some kind or a loan. I don't know. So, but the International Monetary Fund is objecting to this plan as if they're the boss of the country. But it's interesting that other countries are now gravitating towards establishing Bitcoin strategic reserves. Pretty good stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Also, the what's at stake for crypto in South Korea's upcoming election. Crypto policy is an issue ahead of the South Korean election. So if you recall, President Trump campaigned on one of his platforms was a Bitcoin and crypto advocacy, whereas the Democrats totally ignored it, and look where that got them. So that's it. News. I think Aster is still asking questions over here, isn't she? I don't see her. I see Ken trying to help her out. I'm hoping. I wish I had a link that worked directly on how you go about getting your two-factor reset using Gemini, but I couldn't find it. But I would try and Google, lost my 2FA with Gemini Exchange. See, there's got to be a link in their tech support. You might just have to, I don't know if you can get tech support without being logged in, but you might be able to. You might try this request and see if you can get a ticket open and let them know. So hopefully that will help you out. I'm done with the news, so I was just getting caught up on the chat. And thank you for your donation, Paul. I appreciate that. Have you ever experienced really high play slippage when trading ERC20 US dollar on Uniswap? Is there a trick to avoid that? I've never seen a very high slippage when swapping. You say ERC to USD. There's a couple of things you can do for that, Dusted in Shadow. The first is it depends on the crypto that you're trying to swap for US dollar coin. Let's see if we can get into I don't have, okay, I do have these stacks attached. So, for example, let's say we go in here and we're trying to swap, and you're trying to swap to US dollar. Let's do mantle. That's kind of, and let's see, there's 100. Yeah, let's do 100. Now, they used to be able to kind of see it. There's sometimes you can see, and this, I don't think this is going to work. I'm not in the Ethereum app. Let me get into the Ethereum app on my device. Okay. This may not work. I'm trying to do this live. I'm not seeing the transaction in MetaMask. That's kind of what I wanted to show you. Basically what I'm trying to say is that sometimes you want to look at the trading pairs. And first of all, if you're trying to swap a very obscure ERC20 token, you're going to get high slippage, right? If you're swapping a much more mainstream ERC20 token that has high liquidity, and there's a lot of people that are providing liquidity for that token, there's going to be a lot less slippage. So depending on the crypto ERC20 token that you're dealing with, sometimes there's no way to avoid the high slippage. Another thing that you can try is what you're trying to do is swap directly to US dollar coin. Sometimes that's not a direct trading pair for let's look at Mantle here real quick if I can. MTL. Well, whatever. Let's just look at any ERC20 token. I think that's no, that's not. Come on, Rex. You can do it. What is this? Okay, hang on. MNT. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. All right. I'm talking about trading pairs. Okay, there it is. Okay, that's an ERC20 token. Now, when you go to markets, look very carefully at these trading pairs here. Notice that most of the trading pairs for this particular coin are in Tether. So it might make sense to swap, instead of trying to swap directly to US dollar coin, you might be better off swapping it to Tether to get less slippage, because that is a direct trading pair of whatever coin we're dealing with, right? And you need to go and check your coin on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap to find out what the main trading pairs are. Now, if you go further, you'll see that there are some other trading pairs. Now, and these are, a lot of these are on centralized exchanges, but they just kind of give you a hint what a more direct line is. And then you used to be, when you were in MetaMask and you were about to make a swap, they would show you like a chain of what was going to happen. They're like, okay, when you make this swap, we're going to swap Mantle for Ethereum, and then Ethereum for US dollar coin, and then you're going to get your US dollar coin. They'd show you the whole chain. And sometimes the chain was like 3 different swaps leading to your result. So what you want to do is try to swap for the most direct trading pair that you can find to reduce your slippage. And then once you've got Tether, then you can swap Tether for Ethereum or US dollar coin or whatever. Of course, you're going to get hit with fees when that happens, right? But that's one way to mitigate at least the slippage of that one swap, right? Is to try to find a more direct trading pair than what you're trying to do, which is obscure ERC token for US dollar coin. That might not be a direct one-to-one swap. It's probably going to, behind the scenes, going to be doing like 3 swaps. And when you're dealing with a volatile, obscure ERC20 token, there's always going to be slippage because it's low liquidity, right? You could try off-peak hours to see if maybe the slippage is lower in off-peak hours, but off-peak hours usually just determines your gas fees, right? High activity, high gas fees; low activity, low gas fees. I don't think peak times or off times really make a big difference in slippage, right? You can sort of adjust slippage too, but there are certain trades that, with certain coins, that, hey, you're just going to have to deal with, there's going to be slippage, and that's all there is to it. Okay. So I think I covered that topic. I wanted to, talk about, let's go over here. What are we doing here? Yeah, we'll do this. Just kind of so you can see what I'm talking about. So I've been on, during the summer, we all like to go on vacations. And the question is, what can we do with our crypto while we're on vacation? And that depends on your mindset of how you deal with crypto, or your risk tolerance as to, hey, I don't really want to carry my crypto around with me while I'm on vacation because it feels squirrely for you. But I will tell you that if you're using a hardware wallet, most people don't understand what they are. And if you're not a high profile person, even if you still have total security because only you know the PIN, right? So it's not like I'm just going to, drop my Tangem card and someone's going to find it and be able to access my crypto. The same goes for, if I were to bring a ledger device with me. If I could, I like the STAX because it's nice and small. And I'm going to reject this thing. Yes, we were in the middle of a transaction there. So the STAX is slim and fits into your pocket. But if you're going to be gone for a week or two, you will need to bring a charging cable with you so that you can charge it while you're back at the hotel. While you're out and about, it doesn't need to be charged. Now, I'm pretty sure these are not totally waterproof. So if you're out on the beach and you drop it in the water, or you're out on the lake in a canoe or whatever, and you drop it in the water, it's probably going to be damaged. So it might become unusable. So that's one of the drawbacks to carrying this thing around with you when you're out there having fun. Now, and if you're going to leave and you're going to be out and about, and you don't mind a little bit of risk you might drop it or lose it, make sure your seed phrase is safe and sound at home, and you've done a recovery check, the seed phrase is correct, and all that good stuff, right? They always tell you that. Make sure you got your seed phrase before you go out and do crazy stuff. So the ledger's a good choice because the battery lasts for a long time, so you could be out and about. And you could even do crypto swaps with the device and your phone, right? You don't need a Wi-Fi connection. You can use, your phone on the wireless carriers network to do your crypto swaps, if that's what you want to do. Now, if all you really want to do is just check your portfolio balance, then you can just and you don't have anything on your phone yet, you can download Ledger Live on your phone, so that you'll have Ledger Live with you and you can check your portfolio. You don't need to attach your device to pull up Ledger Live. You can do a sync from Ledger Live to your desktop. So if all you want to do is just check your portfolio balance, so that's not Ledger Live. Yeah, you can just carry it with you. Also, Tangem. You don't have to have the device to check your portfolio. There's a lot of hardware devices out there that have apps that you don't really have to have the device with you. If all you want to do is just keep track of your portfolio from day to day. But if you really, want to have access to your crypto and you want to do stuff, then you will have to have your device with you. And now we'll get to Tangem here. So we've got Tangem. Now, Tangem doesn't have to be charged up, right? It doesn't require a charger, so you won't have to bring a cable with you. And it's like a credit card. It's very small, so it'll fit just about anywhere. And it's waterproof. It's not fireproof, but it is waterproof. So if you drop it in the lake, or you drop it in the ocean, and you fish it out right away, no biggie, right? It's totally waterproof. And it works with your phone with NFC. And it keeps your private keys safe and secure. So if you're using a hot wallet on your phone, that's not really as secure as a hardware wallet. In that case, someone could possibly get a hold of your phone, God forbid, if you left it on a table and it didn't lock, or you don't lock your... I always watch movies where people pick up phones and like look at, the criminal's history or whatever, or the girlfriend or the boyfriend. And my wife and I always laugh at those and say, these people don't lock their phones. But I don't know. There may be people out there that don't lock their phones. So if you're using a hot wallet on your phone, that's risky to be carrying all your crypto around like that. So a hardware wallet is your best bet. Ledger is good, but will require you to bring a charger. Tangem, I think, is probably your best solution. You've got the Tangem app where you can monitor your portfolio, and you've got this card with your private key that only you know. Only you can get into your phone. If you lose the card, no one can access your crypto. If you lose your phone, no one can access the crypto from the app without the card. So, it's double-fold secure. So it's a great alternative for carrying around on vacation. You can even spend stablecoin from your Tangem app. So there might be some service that you encounter while you're on vacation that actually accepts some type of crypto or stablecoin for payment, and you can do that with your Tangem card right from the phone. Not to mention the Tangem ring, which is also waterproof and very durable. You can wear it on your finger, and you can use it to manage your crypto while you're out and about. And it's also pretty cool. It kind of hides in plain sight. Not too many people would even be aware that you're using it if they just saw it on your finger. So that's pretty cool. And also, I wanted to let you know that, as I mentioned at the beginning, the Tangem is going to be giving you a 20% discount when you use the CryptoDad checkout code. This is good between June 2nd and June 16th, so you'll definitely want to check that out if you're interested in purchasing a Tangem product. CryptoDad, all caps, at checkout, gives you 20%. So anyway, that's it. Let's get back over to this. I wanted to have a little fun tonight, and just kind of show you that you really don't need to be scared of these scams. What they are trying to do is trick you into revealing your seed phrase. So let's check out a scam. I noticed I was waiting for this, actually. I was waiting for that. And then they said, oh, if you don't get it right away, check your spam folder. So I checked my spam folder and noticed that there were several Ledger Live spam emails. So this is how they work, right? So let's go into this one. Let's check this one out. So they're telling me that someone attempted to log in to my account, and was this me? Now, I said this many times. If a service tells you that there was an unsuccessful login to your account, the legitimate email will tell you if this was not you, you don't need to take any action, right? It's kind of an alert to let you know, hey, there was an unsuccessful login attempt. If this was not you, don't worry. They didn't get in, right? But if they try to tell you something like this, where they go, hey, somebody tried to log into your account. Was this me? Yes, it was me. That's great. This no secure my account. You'll never see that with legitimate. They're never going to say, hey, somebody tried to log into your account. Now you need to take action, right? That's the scam right there. They're tricking you. They're making you worry. They're like, hey, wait a minute. I don't have an iPhone 13, and I don't live in Germany. So somebody in Germany tried to log in to my device, I guess. Right? Well, first of all, look at this. This is not from Ledger, obviously, right? On first glance. But let's play around with it. Let's see what happens. We go, no, secure my account. Well, Gmail's trying to help me out. It says, this looks suspicious, right? So, and this is where people just start freaking out. They're like, "Oh my God, now everything, my system's compromised. The world is collapsing. I need to, run to the DMV, change my ID, whatever." They go into panic mode, right? All this is saying is that this link looks suspicious, so just don't open it, right? But let's soldier on and see what they are trying to do here. Now, it sort of looks like Ledger. The logo is there, but if you look up at the URL, it's not ledger.com, right? It's this crazy gobbledygook, right? So we are not on the Ledger website, but it does look like it, right? And then here's our run security check, and you know what it's going to ask us. It's going to ask us to enter our seed phrase. This looks identical to what you see on Ledger. So let's hit get started. Tell them we've got a Ledger STAX. And then confirm you want to run the check. Okay. Checking your wallet. And, you're going to have your thing connected and all this. And they're going to go, See, they're going to make you think that they just ran a check on your device. They don't need the device for this, right? The device, well, my device actually was connected at the time. But even if your device isn't connected, you're going to get this message that tells you there's a problem and that now you've damaged your device and now you need to run this recover. And now this is where they ask you for your words. You're going to pull out your little list of words. You're going to go, oh, yeah, I got 24 words. And you're going to dutifully type them in. This is where they get you, right? I can go through all that. I'm not worried about them sucking crypto out of my device by clicking any of those links. None of those links were a risk to my device or my crypto. They were leading me down the primrose path to this, where they asked me to enter the seed phrase. That's what they really want me to do, right? This is what you don't do. Don't ever type your seed phrase into a website, pure and simple. It looked pretty convincing. It looked like Ledger, but this is how they get you. They convince you that there's a problem with your device and that you're about to lose your crypto. You're going to lose access to all that crypto, and Ledger's going to help save you. All you have to do is enter your seed phrase. Well, what that does is give them full access to your crypto, right? As soon as they have this seed phrase, they can restore their own device and access all of your crypto. That's what this seed phrase is for. It's for backups, only for you. It's not to be shared with anyone. So, yeah, again and again and again, these people just never stop. They're always thinking up new ways to trick people. Let's try the other one. What was the other one? The other one was, let's see here. This one. Let's see. Identity not yet received. Submit identification. There's links on here. So I'm going to tell them it looks safe so that I can see the links. Mark the message as not suspicious. All right, now I think if I refresh it. Oh, now it's not going to load. Okay, well, that's weird. Okay, back to this. Okay, so here. Okay, well, basically it's the same thing as this other one, right? Or no, that one, I guess that one got deleted. I don't know. Okay, I guess I accidentally deleted it. No. Yeah, I don't see any more Ledger in there. Yeah, there's a lot of Coinbase scams out there now. Because of Coinbase's data breach a few weeks back, my wife got some text claiming to be from Coinbase. They're going to take advantage of anything in the news, right? So I don't see any Coinbase stuff in here. But always be on the lookout for that stuff, right? Just assume everyone is lying. I mean, that's kind of how I live my life anyway, right? Just assume everybody's lying. Hey, Dan is here. That's good to have you. Paul lost his Google Authenticator years ago, had to contact Gemini and go through the process to recover your 2FA access. Right. Yeah, they'll basically remove it from your Gemini account so that you can get in to the account, and then you can re-enable it if you have a new device. Right. Yeah, Dan points out that the Ledger STAX and the Ledger Flex are easier to use for old farts like me than the Ledger Nano X, which has this tiny little LCD screen. It's difficult to see for a guy like me. My eyes are not that great. So the touch screen on the Flex and the STAX is so much nicer, right? So much easier to type on, so much easier to see and read. It's just a dream to use. A lot of people, I don't need that. I just wanted to keep my crypto secure. No, you need to be able to access your crypto when you need access to your crypto. And so having a device that is easy for you to use is paramount. By the way, I did a video this week from last week's live stream. You heard me talk about this in last week's live stream. I didn't really have to edit it very much. I basically just cut out, the 9 minutes of time where I talked about the person that told me that they mistyped their PIN. Also, I wanted to show you guys here real quick. I want to talk tonight about the difference. Okay, so you heard me talk about this last week. So what happened was the user told me they lost or typed in their PIN, and she replied to me. All right, so and I cut and pasted that conversation. Whoops, here. All right, so I know it's a little hard to read. Let me see. Let me boost it up here. All right, so I've tried my PIN that I'm 100% sure of. Ledger says wrong PIN. Then I tried 3 times, then tried recovery phrase, which I have on 3 recovery sheets. It says invalid, retry. So what am I supposed to do now? And in the video, I said, hey, you need to practice with your device more so that you're comfortable entering the PIN. You're not struggling with entering the PIN. It could have been that she remembered her PIN incorrectly. It could have been that she knew her PIN, but when she was hitting the buttons, she was actually at like halfway, she was hitting one of the wrong numbers. It's pretty easy to do on the older Ledger device because there's no confirmation. So like you'll navigate to a digit and then you'll hit both buttons, and then it just goes away and takes you to the next digit. So you may or may not have actually entered the one you were trying to enter. But regardless, she failed after 3 times. And my spiel was, hey, work with the device on a regular basis, and entering the PIN will be, you could do it, as second nature. So she said, well, what do I do now? And I said, okay, well, if you're getting an invalid, you need to get that restore, right? If you're getting an invalid error message, you probably wrote your seed phrase down incorrectly. You say you have it written down 3 times, so you're probably not reading it off the card incorrectly. So now you need to figure out which word you wrote down incorrectly. You may have misread it off the device when you were first setting it up. Or wrote down O that should have been a U, or something similar. Or you saw the word cake on the device and you wrote down the word cage on your card. So what you need to do is go to the BIP39 word list, the official word list that has all of the 2,048 words that are on the list, right? There's 2,048 of them. So look at the words that you have written down and compare them to that list. If the word that you wrote down on your card is not in that list, then you probably miswrote the word, and look for a word very similar. And lo and behold, she did reply. And she says that's exactly what happened. I happened to see that I had written the word online instead of the word olive on one list. What a big mistake. Happy I saw it at last. So she got access to her crypto. She was able to do her restore. And I'm really happy. She gave me some material for a rant, but then she took my advice and she was able to figure out the correct seed phrase. So she got her restore done. I was pretty happy about that. So that's a heartwarming story, right? Crypto recovery story. It's good stuff. Let's see. We'll go back here. Let me see if I can get Dusted in Shadow. Thank you very much for that. Let's see. Tom, Eric, Bitcoin is king for dollar gains. Look at coins that came out strong from the tariffs fiasco. Bitcoin and Ethereum. Dan's talking about Tron partnering with Rumble. That's good stuff. Justin Sun, the flamboyant CEO of Tron. Let's see. In my opinion, anything not Bitcoin is a ship coin. There are a lot of Bitcoin maximalists out there, Tom. You're in good company. Monero is the most crypto of crypto, but how much is going to be used? That's a good question, Eric. I noticed that Monero has hit revisited its all-time highs. Last I heard, it was around $350 per coin, which is pretty amazing. If you think Bitcoin was getting a bad rap, Monero is like the punching bag of the powers that be. They really hate Monero because it does have built-in anonymity. It is a privacy-oriented coin, and it gets delisted from exchanges and gets all kinds of bad mouthing by law enforcement and financial regulators and government. And look, it's weathered the storm, and it's back at all-time highs again. So I don't think Monero is going away. Pretty interesting story there. Patricio, my Ledger Nano S Plus is not showing on my new iPhone, but the balances still show on Ledger Live. Should I try to install Ledger Live? Patricio, you can go into Ledger Live and repair your device if it's not syncing up. The Ledger Nano S Plus doesn't have a battery. I don't think it has Bluetooth. So I'm not really sure how you're using it with the phone-based version of Ledger Live, short of just using Ledger Sync to view your balances. So I was thinking you were talking about a Ledger Nano X. The Ledger Nano S Plus is not compatible with actually managing crypto on the Ledger Live phone-based app. Unless you're using an Android-based phone and you're using this cable connection kit, which it might work. I don't know that it works very well. But there's no Bluetooth. There is no mobile support for the Ledger Nano S Plus on the phone-based app. So the best you can hope is to export your, like if you want to go into settings here and go to Ledger Sync, you can sync with this QR code here on your phone-based app, right? So I've already done that, but you can basically go into settings on your phone, go into general, go to Ledger Sync, and then if you click sync with another app, it's going to open this phone. It's going to open the camera and you'll be able to sync to your desktop version. I've already done this, so it's not going to do much here. But that's how they're already synced. Right. But yeah, you can't actually connect your Ledger Nano S Plus to the phone app. It's not compatible. I hope that clears that up. Anyway, it's after 7, guys. I'm going to start winding down here. It's good to have you. Yeah, maybe he does have an Android. If that's the case, you might want to try and remove the device from My Ledger and repair. Right? Go into My Ledger. Yeah, I don't even have any devices in mine right now because it's brand new. But if you have the old device in there, you can remove it and then start the pairing process again. Like, you go back into this and hit add ledger and then repair if you've got that cable connection kit. Yeah, it's the old sage advice. Just reboot, reset, retry, basically. Kevin Glover, thank you so much for that subscription. I hope you guys had a good time tonight. I appreciate you being here. Let's see if this is going to work. It's not bad. It looks kind of weird. Yeah, I should be behind that. Right? It should be back here. Yeah, those should be in the front. This should be... Oh, no, now I'm like behind. Anyway, yeah, it's good having you guys here. We'll do this every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions, and I'll do my best to get them answered. Hope to see you there. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you guys again soon and next week.